Alright, hello everyone. This is part 3 of my color along out of Small Town Charm. We're going to see if we can get some water put in and help even out our blue and balance out. So again, I am doing a night scene, so my water is going to be a little darker. I don't necessarily want to do black water. I feel like a big black spot in the middle of the page would kind of pull away from everything. But we are going to go dark. To start with, I'm going to take a peacock blue, and I'm just going to kind of put in everywhere water is. This isn't necessarily my lightest color because I'm going to do my highlight here, but I kind of want to work around this tree and stuff here a little bit. So, starting with peacock blue. And I am just doing a very light layer. Like I said, this is kind of just bringing it in and showing us what we have left around here, because I missed all these rocks when I colored these. I didn't even notice these were rocks. And then another little boat over here. So I'm assuming that carries on back there. And then, like I said, if we decide we want to come in and make this darker under and around the tree, we can. This is also a good way to decide what brown we want to put in for this tree. I don't want to do a dark brown and lose it in the water and it look like the leaves are floating, but I don't want to do a too bright of brown and it look like it's glowing either. So this will be a nice kind of way to pull everything together a little bit. So I hope everyone is enjoying this color along. I've got good feedback so far. I'm glad I picked a page that everyone kind of liked, I guess we could say. I just noticed that my YouTube community is turned off, and that's probably something that happened in an update while I wasn't keeping up with things. So I am going to get that turned back on, and that will help also with the posting of pages and announcements and things like that. But I did just notice that, so I will get on after this and try to figure out how to get that back on and get my videos put in playlists, the ones that are newer that haven't been put in yet, all that good stuff. And if anyone has suggestions for the next book, whether it be Teresa Goodridge or not, now is a good time to let me know. It gives me a little time to plan it out while I'm finishing up this one. If you request a book and I don't have it, I will do my best to order it. Basically, I have to order in and then kind of see what page you're looking at, or if you have a preference, those kind of things. Know that I am in Wyoming, so although I have Amazon Prime, I do not have 2-day shipping. It is about a week at best. We don't have any of the cool little boxes or the Amazon delivery. We are out here all alone. UPS usually delivers our Amazon stuff, so just a heads up. I will do my best. And if you have any future books that you would like to see, I can get them ordered too as well throughout the Christmas season, so we have them. Okay, like I said, I'm leaving this little glare alone for the moment. We aren't going to worry about this black line. By the time we are done putting all the dark and the light and blending it out for our water, we won't see this black line. So we're going to leave it alone. We're going to work around it for now. The other reason I like to put this blue in now is so that these leaves, I can make sure my water is going to be, my dark blue and my dark green won't blend, and my leaves also get lost in the water. It's kind of a tricky thing here with these colors. Now you could have also probably colored this dark and then made this light for the reflection part. I'm going to roll with it as it is. This spot here, this water is going to look a little different with the glare of the water, so I'm not going to color, or fire, sorry. The fire is going to change the color right here on the boat a little bit, so I'm not going to mess too much with that. But I am gonna come and kind of just put a little darker shadow in where I know it will for sure be dark over here where everything else is dark. And then this over here. Again, kind of not working too far out into my highlight spot, and I didn't mean to color that blue. Don't color your little wild corn dog blue. I still can't remember the name. It'll come to me eventually. But I am putting a little bit darker by the banks because it will be darker by the banks. From where we're looking anyway. And again, night, so. Another one of a little bit of the trust the process kind of things. It will come together. This is just our first color. Okay, making sure I kind of got everywhere. If you can't tell if it's a leaf or water, you can leave it. Always come back. You know, we used peacock blue as our first color, so I'm gonna kind of come in on these rocks. I almost feel like under this dock is gonna be a little dark as well. And then maybe a little around this boat here. I almost want to color the whole thing blue and kind of put in my own highlight that lines up, but I'm not going to. I'm resisting the urge and I'm working with what's there. Okay, so then I'm going to take, you can take a indigo blue, an indanthrone blue, indigo blue, any dark blue. I'm trying to look, I can't remember the names of the other dark blue, but there's ultramarine. Let's see, Copenhagen, I'm going to use, not necessarily as my dark, but depending on the dark you're going for. So this is indanthrone. So we just want a really dark true blue, and this is going to be our shadow. So again, going along the rocks. And I will color these rocks. I'll probably do a couple with you on camera so you can see, but I'm going to do them the same color palette in the same way I kind of did the rest. I might add a little green touch over here, we'll see, but other than that, same as what we have already done. Okay, again, making sure under that dock is blue, a little bit around this boat. We can always come in and darken more if we need to. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to, where this grass and around these rocks, I'm going to darken. Our fire is not shining over here, so this is going to be a fairly dark corner over here. And then same with over here. Our fire isn't, we want to keep kind of this dark feel going on this side. So coloring this in. I'm going to go under the back half of my boat. I'm going to leave up here until I get my oranges and things put in for that fire on the water there. But this log, I think between the log and the grass, this water here will stay pretty dark. So same here. And then I'm going to leave the tree. So if you want, you can kind of come in and add some dark. Because there's like, everything over here is so busy. We have all these lines and reflections, and then over here there's nothing in the water. So I do want to make sure that I kind of be cohesive and bring some of the colors in, but I kind of want to put my leaves in first to make sure I got everything before I do too much of that. I also want to make sure we leave a fuzzy edge for blending. And then I'm going to back here make this water dark just because I feel like it's farther and out of the line of sight. So it's kind of going to be darker back there. Okay, so I think we're going to leave that until we get some other colors in. So leaving my peacock blue and my indanthrone blue out so I can come back for those. And then Copenhagen blue, if I can find it. Also going to use true blue. Love a good true blue. My tiny Copenhagen blue, again, I apologize. It's little, we're working with it. got a little on my boat, which isn't a big deal because the brown will cover it anyway, but it'll bother me if I don't erase a little bit of it out. So. I do have a Prismacolor eraser, but it's rather large, and I'm not gonna lie, pink erasers work fairly well on Prismacolors. So if you don't want to spend the fancy bucks, honestly, I only have Prismacolor erasers because I bought a couple of the tutorial kits on clearance that come with like a certain set of pencils, and they came with it. So other than that, I use the nice big pink erasers. So everywhere I put that dark and that indent on, I'm just kind of going over with Copenhagen, and that's just to kind of help us blend out. Let me make sure I'm on camera here. I know I'm trying to slide everywhere with going top to bottom here. And I might not blend and get this water all done this video, we will see. But I did want to kind of get some color put in. And again, just trying to make sure that this tree doesn't get too left out color-wise over here. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna blend and smudge all that out anyway. We're just kind of following it for a baseline. Our water is starting to look like water. So my lightest color is going to be a cloud blue or a powder blue. So there's a powder blue. You could use a cloud blue. I don't know what else I have going on here. Let's see. There's a cloud blue. So this one's a little more blue. This one's a little more kind of grayish. Not a huge difference. So either one will work. Probably going to mix in a little white and a touch of, this is Caribbean Sea, and then a touch of periwinkle, and I'll show you why. So this is periwinkle, and it's gonna look a little out of place at first, but on the inside of where I'm gonna make this highlight, I'm gonna use this periwinkle. And this is just kind of like a blender, a transition color. But when we hit it with white or a lighter color, it becomes really pretty. So again, skipping that little section for a moment because I need to put in the oranges off the fire. Again, I'm not going for a super bright, highlighted, pretty blue ocean water. So it's nighttime, so we're gonna stay fairly dark. So this periwinkle just kind of helps keep that kind of dimmer, but still brighter look, if that makes sense. It creates the highlight effect, but it's not giving the water like the see-through daytime kind of look. That was a horrible explanation, but hopefully kind of makes sense. I'm going to erase that little bit off that. I better get those colored in before I actually color them all blue. Okay, so, and then I'm going to come in with that Caribbean Sea, and then everywhere I kind of put that periwinkle, I'm going to go over and in a little, so in towards our highlight zone here. Or call this the highlight zone. So this here. So over the periwinkle and out a little. See over here, we're starting to kind of get all our layers in enough to okay, and then your choice of cloud blue or powder blue, if you're following along. I would like to say I know what this is, but I don't because it's tiny. So this one would be probably a cloud blue. It's tiny. Make sure we're on camera here. And this is also going to be my blender. So I'm going to start at my highlight and then kind of work to my darker. Circular motions. It's hard to do with this little pencil, so if it doesn't look like I'm doing circular motions, I'm trying. And then I don't necessarily need a whole lot of this lighter blue over here. So I will use my Caribbean to kind of blend out over here. I'm not doing a good job at staying in the lines tonight. Alright. And then you will still see a little bit of the black line shining through. If when we're done, the black lines are bothering you, we can come back in with a gel pen and we can trace. Forgot to make sure that wasn't clogged first, sorry. I really like these gel pens, but when they get to the end, they kind of have that same problem of clogging up a little bit. They do really good until they start running low. And we'll add some lines in. I don't love that. Let's see if my other one is. That one's not even that low, but I might have used it on a project and not came back and wiped it off. That's why it's acting funny. I've done that. Okay. So I think I'm just going to come in and I don't like the swirly line look over here, so I'm just going to kind of add my own little white lines like that. So we might darken it up. I'm going to go ahead and get it in and blend it out and see if I like it first. Again, I want it to be a little darker because it's night, but I don't necessarily want it to be black like the sky. So let me put this color in up here. Let's get the top half blended out, and then we'll come down where the fire is. Make sure I'm on camera here with my tiny little pencil. Not the best circular motions because it's tiny. Okay. And then this is that Caribbean Sea. So I'm just going to start up here and kind of see if I like how dark it is and bring it downward. Now this works great putting the light in and then coming back with this, because where I put that light in, it won't darken. So many helpful critters. So this is that Indian throne, and I'm just putting in a little bit back. And I can kind of bring it out like this and give the water a little life. This is Peacock, and again, I want it a little darker. So just adding a little layer of things here. Not to get too much on the rocks, but still show you kind of what this is going to look like buffed out and blended some. Okay, I am going to come in where this pole of the dock is and purposely kind of darken right around that. I want to make sure that doesn't get lost. And then I'm going to use the Peacock blue to kind of smooth out the dark I just put in, I guess you could say. I want it to be obviously dark, but I still don't want the harsh lines, if that makes sense. Okay, I think we're going to use a little bit of Copenhagen here, just because we're still under the dock. And then blend out with that Caribbean Sea. that is kind of going to be our water effect. I'm not sure if I've done it enough where you can tell. I'm going to come in around these leaves a little. This is Indian Throne. Let's see if we can get this little section put in. I don't want to have to make you watch me blend water for the whole video. But I did want to get the water in for those of you that were waiting on the water. But it is one of those things I come back and keep adding and playing and adjusting. So this is that peacock blue right over that Indian Throne. Blending out with that Caribbean. I don't want to use my powder blue right here. I'm not trying to make this as bright as this. So I'm not going all the way to my lightest color. We're just using this as a blender. Okay. I figure it's easier to show you like that than to pause it and try to adjust my camera a whole lot. So I think that blue will be pretty with our page. And again, we will get the highlight. Let me even find a bigger. This is white. But this is going to also add quite a bit of that nice highlight look we're going for. Right in there. So I'm going to leave that and set these off to the side, and as I will come in and kind of fill in the rest of the water, but that's how I'm going to do everywhere. So like I said, I'll put in that dark, and then I will come back with another layer of the peacock. Darken up everywhere. This spot is only dark because I'm shadowing the grass. Technically it's in our little highlight bubble here, so. But you can, if you don't want to lose that, take your white and just kind of everywhere you're going to keep your bright, bright highlight. And that will start kind of pulling that all together for you and giving you that nice, like, painty look. Okay, so let's play right here for a minute. We're gonna have a little glow. Now, when we mix yellow and blue, we get green. So just be aware of that on your water, how you want to do it. I think I'm just going to stick to my little section. I already have yellow here. And I'm just going to leave this whole yellow, and then I'm going to add the tiniest bit of orange just for reflective feeling purposes. Sorry, I can't think in color apparently tonight at the same time. And then I'm going to clean my white. And it's going to have a little green tint to it, but nothing too serious, I don't think. I think with the white we can blend. And then of course I will touch that area with the white highlight as well. So that gives us a little glow effect next to our boat there. Let's put in our wild corn dogs that I still can't remember the name of. So I'm going to go burnt ochre on the side with the line. Burnt ochre. And you can swap it if you want to do it on the other side, depending on what side you're wanting to be kind of your highlighted side. Goldenrod on the other. Okay, so there's our light and our medium. So of course we're still going to use a dark. So a sepia, a dark umber, a dark chocolate, or not a dark umber or chocolate, anything will work. On the side where I put my burnt ochre, I'm going to come down the side and a little bit at the bottom. And then I also did the stalks of them, or stems. Not sure if in nature they're green or brown, because I've seen them in like swampy areas, but we're rolling with it. They're brown now. And I probably should have put the water in the rest of the way before I put the brown, so I don't smear the brown into it, but okay. And then you can go back over and blend it out, or what have you, if you like it the way it is. Just getting rid of a little bit of the harshness. There is a spot for, I don't know if it's supposed to be a highlight or if they naturally have those, but I'm not going to highlight those because mine aren't shining. And I'm not sure what the thing at the top is supposed to be, so I'm going to put mine in green. And that's just because I don't want to put like a bright yellow necessarily on the top. I think normally I color them yellow, but I don't want a bright yellow right here, so we're going to just pretend it's grass growing somewhere. If you know what they are or how you want them to look, you can adjust yours as necessary. Alright, we got our wild corn dogs in. I should have never started calling them that, because I honestly now I'm drawing a blank on what they're called. Right, let's talk some trees. We got this one here that's going to be one of our main ones, so I'm probably going to put this in closer to last. So I'm going to hop up here to these trees. Now these trees are just moonlight. There is no fire, there's no sun, there's nothing reflecting off them other than moonlight. So I'm going to stay with the pretty dark greens. So this is dark green, super sharp dark green. And I'm kind of just putting in the little line she's already got in roughly. Don't have to be perfect. I'll do that on a couple of them. Again, I'm not really going to do too much of a reflection on the trees. I want the water to be the main eye-poppin' catchin' thing here. Okay, these trees I'm going to do a different color so we don't have too much green kind of clashing together back here. Oh, and there's another little house hiding. Apparently I didn't look at this page very close. Okay, so that is dark green. This is apple green. Actually, let's go grass green first, just so I don't confuse anybody. And sharpen this. Grass green. So anywhere I put that dark green and out a little, there isn't really a right or wrong to this, just so you know. Like, pine trees are fairly easy. If you wanted to, you could base color them with a marker and then come in and just kind of flick in some green to make the pine, and those look really good too. So just kind of, I don't want huge gaps of white because that white is going to be where our highlight color is, and so I don't want huge gaps of white in my trees. Otherwise it's going to look like there's something in front of it creating that glow, and there's not. Okay, and then again a night scene, so I don't really want to go a bright like chartreuse, so we're going to go with an apple green. I'm not done yet. So I know this tree still looks a little brighter and greener than a normal pine tree would. We're still going to play with it a little. Again, a little heavy-handed, and I think I'm a little extra heavy-handed tonight. I feel it. Maybe it's anxiety, a little bit of stress, maybe a little frustration of the day coming out. So do be aware that heavy-handed is a contributing factor. Okay, and then back with that dark green or a Prussian green. You could even add a little brown if you so wish. And I'm not coloring over the whole thing, just kind of anywhere that looks a little bright and a large. Kind of coloring in a downward streaky motion in the direction she already has the lines going. Creates that kind of pine tree look. Okay, so there is one tree. I'm not sure how the glare is, so I'll bring it up a little. Hopefully it'll focus. And then repeat, repeat, repeat through all the pine trees on this section. I didn't come back in with my blender pencil and finish blending my sky either, so I gotta do that too. So we put in our basics, add a little of our medium so we can help blend it out, mush it all together with our light, and then come back with our darkest. And see, we're just really kind of just shaping it how we want it now. So we want that dark line all the way across, giving that nice bushy tree feel. Now, I'm not too worried about the edges, especially up here where it's going to be black all the way around it anyway. But like these ones over here that are kind of out touching each other, I would probably add a little dark to those. Okay, and then if I feel like I need to, I can blend with some more of that apple green. So I will continue all of those trees. Let's do a couple of these. Now, we've talked about not having color on one place on our page because it draws all the attention to that one spot. So we want to take some of this beautiful orange here and bring it up here. Don't know if this is meant to be a fall scene. I don't know if these trees are really going to be yellow and orange in real life. My trees are going to be. No, I'm not going to do just yellow and orange. I don't want them to look like they're on fire by any means. So we're going to bring in a goldenrod and kind of just right through the center of this tree in a U shape. I'm going to put a little bit of that goldenrod. Same thing on this one, just kind of starting right around. Ta-da, done. No, just kidding. Lime peel is a great color for this. I had a lime peel out, but I probably can't find mine. I gotta quit getting excited by projects because then I have so many pencils out and I can't put any away because then I won't remember what I had out for projects. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of that yellowed orange, just a little, right outside that goldenrod. This isn't the way I do all my fall trees. Usually I do it a little more varied and kind of sporadic, but I like this look on these trees. They seem shaped anyway. This is yellow ochre. Again, mine is a Scholar, but if you have a regular Prismacolor ochre, it works just as well. And I'm just going over them two colors and blending them. Okay, and then I really do need to find my lime peel. Lime peel would be recommended if you have like a lighter olive green. Where is my lime peel? Give me 1 second here. we're just going to pull the new one. Lime peel. So this is, if you ever need to transition from like a golden yellow to a green, this is one of my favorite colors to do it with. It is a really nice blendy color. So I'm going over the top and then up at the bottom too. And then blend. So around here at the middle a little bit. And then up here at the top. And then I'm going to add a touch of this yellow. I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference. But I don't want my golden to become any darker. So I'm going to use this yellow to kind of blend it together. And then if the lines are bothering you, a Prussian green, olive green, artichoke green. And just kind of go over the lines a little bit. Kind of help hide the black lines from the artist. If they're not bothering you, you can leave well enough alone. Am I on camera here? Okay. I get to slipping and sliding around and then forget to check. I keep saying I'm going to put tabs down, but I keep thinking I want to rearrange again around Christmas, so with starting school and everything, I might split my desk half and half for art or homework. Okay, and there's just a little bit of that orange. Kind of adding back in some of that bright, pretty orange. I like it. So like I said, I don't know if this is a fall page. I don't know if them trees are normally that color, but mine are now. I could only handle so much green in the background. Let's do a couple of these rocks. So if you missed the rocks, we're going to revisit the rocks for a quick minute. So we need a 70% warm gray, a 50% French gray. That's, I don't know. Oh, wrong one. And a 20% warm gray. Okay, that's right. I was thinking that don't sound right, but it does. So if you want, because these rocks are all so close together, if you want to base these with your 20% gray first, you can. So if you want to put in everywhere these rocks, we still want to give these rocks some definition and some life. We don't want to just toss them in because they're small and close together. So we're still going to come in with that 50%. And remember our basics. Make sure I'm on camera here. So anywhere there's shadows. So behind that rock, kind of just outlining the rocks a little bit. Now some you can bring up higher because they're not all going to be the exact same colors. And that's not what we want to go for. But I think also they'll kind of do their own thing when we get the dark in here. So here's the dark. This is our 70% warm. Now again, if we want a little bit of a darker rock, bring it up a little higher. We want a dark rock right here, we'll bring it up a little higher. Forgot my gray over here, but it's okay. We're going to play a little. Just kind of put in some shadows. Again, a night scene, and this gray will give off a nice little kind of highlighted effect. I need to come down here in the front. I totally skipped the front altogether. Try not to touch your blue. If you do, it don't matter. Your blue will reflect off the rocks anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But kind of like that one. Got a little blue in it. Now, no matter, even if you come in and you put your light in first like this, this gray tends to wipe out the darker colors fairly easy. So you'll probably still have to come over and put your little layers back in just a little bit so they don't get lost. So if you're not a layer, that might not be your favorite part, but it really does give a nice look to the rocks. And it's not super hard. Little time consuming, can be tedious depending on how much you get into it. But see, those rocks are already coming together. So that is how I will do all of the rest of the rocks as well. Just come in and kind of shadow the bottoms and build up to my lightest gray at the tops. I need to sharpen that one a little bit. It's driving me crazy. Okay. And we all color a little bit different, so even if we all used the same color, nobody's rocks are going to look exactly the same. So don't try to get it to look exactly like mine, just try to get them to look like rocks. This is my 50%, just kind of buffing out that hard lines there. Okay, liking those. So that will be another long, tedious, not necessarily long and tedious, but another one I won't make you watch me do all of the rocks on. Let's play. We're running kind of long already. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Okay, so quickly, I'm going to make this truck up here red. That way I can put a little bit of red in the bricks, if we need to, maybe the little bit of birds, and then this stuff down here. So these cups, let me make sure I am plenty on screen here. I'm going to base with Poppy Red. This is a super quick cup tutorial. Base with Poppy Red. This is your lightest color. And I probably shouldn't have colored the top because that probably had something in it, but we're working with it for a minute. Okay, and then this is Crimson Red. So just a darker red, not your darkest red, but a darker red. And I'm trying to decide, let's see, this one's going to be dark on this side because the highlight is over here. So I'm going to go under the lip of that cup, down the side, fuzzy edge for blending. I'm going to do the top of the handle and the bottom of the handle, and I'm going to leave the middle alone. Okay, so on this side, the reflection is on the inside of the cup. So I guess we can still, feels backwards to me, but we're going to work with it. So darker on the edge here, fuzzy edge, so lightening our pressure. Top of the handle, bottom of the handle. Okay. Then you need a pomegranate, a Tuscan red, a darker red, basically. And so wherever your dark is, you're going to put this. So we're going to go across the bottom and up that dark side, under the ledge, top of the handle, bottom of the handle. See, I feel like this one should have been opposite, but we're going to work with it. Okay. And then Poppy Red to blend them. Blend that handle. And just that little bit of using 3 colors on these tiny little objects kind of brought them to life just a little bit. But now that we have some red down there, we can come up here, and I'm going to do this one backwards because it's really small. But this is my darkest, so that Tuscan red. I'm going to kind of outline the door here and around this wheel well, a little bit above the bumper. Remembering it's dark, so it's going to be a little bit of, it's not going to be like a bright red fire truck anyway, it's dark outside. But, and I'm going to work my way backwards again, just because this truck is little. Oh, and I missed the whole truck there. I will put his headlights and stuff back in. But anywhere I put that Tuscan, I'm coming over with crimson. Okay, and then blend it out. Oh, we skipped this whole wheel well though. Let's not do that. Don't skip your wheel well. It'll look weird. Again, putting this over the top. And then blending the whole thing out with poppy red. So again, I know some of you are probably getting tired of hearing this. I tried to stick to 5 to 7 colors within a coloring page. Not 5 to 7 pencils, but 5 to 7 colors. So obviously we've got black, blue, green, brown, red. And that should be about all we need. And gray with the rocks. So pushing it a little, but I think we'll be okay. We've used the same colors up here that we used in the fire, so we didn't introduce anything new. I will come in and darken this bed too, but if I don't color this in now while I'm here, I will forget. Right, so there's our little truck. We got him out of the way. All right, so there is part 3. When we come back together to hopefully attempt to finish this page, we should have all our trees put in. We should have all our rocks put in. And our water will be blended out. We won't have any of the highlight parts put in necessarily with the gel pen, but the trees, the green trees will be put in, the rocks will be put in, and the water will be put in. Questions, comments, requests, anything like that, please let me know. I hope to see you for part 4. Album up in the group if you are following along, would like to share. If you've already colored and you'd like to share. I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.